Okay, so now let's take a quiz over what you have learned. And so the first thing is name one characteristic of a rock. So if we go back in our notes, back up here to the top, we find that a rock is stuff that is glued together, so it's coherent. Another thing is it's natural, so it's not man-made. And then the third one is that a rock has to be composed of minerals or glass. So that's going to be our definition. All right, let's go to question number 2. What are the 3 basic classes of rocks as described by the rock cycle? Okay, so we discussed that there were igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks. So the answer is going to be B. Okay, number 3, igneous rocks are produced primarily by the deposition and consolidation of surface minerals such as sand and mud. Is that true or false? No, that's false. So where do the igneous rocks come from? So they come from the solidification of magma or lava. Number 4, the basic rock type forms, this basic rock type forms when already existing rock is subjected to great pressures and or intense heat but does not melt. So would that be a metamorphic, would it be a sedimentary, or would it be an igneous? Now if I had not said that last thing, but does not melt, then technically it could have been an igneous one. But we're talking about metamorphic. So we're going to alter the rock, but we're not going to melt it. And what does a mass spectrometer tell you about a mineral? Well, by definition, it tells you its mass. So it's going to tell you about the masses of the pieces of the mineral when it comes apart. So when you take the mineral and you powder it and then you heat it up, the mineral comes apart into its various chunks, and then each of those chunks is going to have a certain mass, and then by knowing those masses you can reassemble it and figure out what was the original mineral. Okay, then this last one is a rock is found in the field that has the following characteristics. It's found near a volcano, it has no visible crystals, and it has the minerals pyroxene and olivine in it. So use your rock identification charts to identify the rock. So at this point, I really, don't care if you can't do this, but you should know if it's found near a volcano, there's a good chance it's what kind of a rock. Okay, either an igneous rock or a metamorphic. So either of those two. Okay, it has no visible crystals in it, and it has pyroxene and olivine, so that ends up being basalt. So what we've just identified that rock as being is basalt. Okay, so again, looking back at this lesson, it was pretty complex. However, I just want you to get a general overview of the difference between an igneous rock, a metamorphic, and a sedimentary. How do they form, and then where do they form? So that's the major things that I want you to get out of this lesson. And so in our next lesson, we're going to start talking about igneous rocks. So I will see you then.